7:08 right now, happening right now. Nearly 300 National Guard members are in Los Angeles after a third straight day of protests. Rioters yesterday set self-driving cars on fire in downtown as protesters blocked a freeway. The city's police chief says the situation is getting dangerous for both the public and his law enforcement officers. He's also reinforcing that his department is not part of ICE.
Equivocally clear. The Los Angeles Police Department does not participate in or coordinate with Immigration and Customs Enforcement on civil immigration enforcement. We've said this over and over again, and I can't stress it enough for the people in our community who have high levels of anxiety about this issue, that we want everybody to believe and be able to call the LAPD in time of need if they've been a victim of a crime or a witness to a crime. We need that. Otherwise, the system does not work. This violence that I've seen is disgusting. It's escalated now since the beginning of this incident. What we saw the first night was bad. What we've seen subsequent to that is getting increasingly worse and more violent. Tonight we had individuals out there shooting commercial-grade fireworks at our officers. That can kill you. And we have adapted our tactics to be able to have a chance to be able to take these people into custody and to be able to hold them accountable. We are overwhelmed as far as the number of people out there engaged in this type of activity and the type of things that they're doing. They'll take backpacks, and the backpack will have a cinder block in it. They have a hammer, and they'll break up the cinder block and use that, pass it around to throw at officers, to throw at cars, and throw at other people. We've seen people with hammers, and you've broadcasted, breaking the bollards behind the federal building and taking the rocks, if you will, or pieces of concrete, and throwing them at officers. We've had liquid of who knows what description thrown at officers. There's no limit to what they're doing to our officers.
Now, those protests continued all night. In fact, reporter Rob Scott got a first-hand look at some of those dangerous fireworks that you just heard the chief mention. Take a look at this.
Well, the chaos here in downtown Los Angeles continues tonight. I got to say, it doesn't feel like the LA we all know and are familiar with. This feels like some sort of third world conflict zone. I mean, we have fires burning in the middle of intersections. We have police and law enforcement agencies under constant attack by these protesters. They have had rocks hurled through the windscreen. And now they are firing fireworks directly at officers who have backed off a bit, I've got to say. And as the night has worn on, the number of protesters certainly has dwindled, but they are the ones left are the real anarchists, the ones who are intent on causing the most damage, the most mayhem. Donald Trump, as we know, has ordered in 2,000 National Guardsmen, he says, to basically crush these riots. The California governor, Gavin Newsom, warned that sending in those troops would only make things worse, be inflammatory, and that certainly does appear to be the case. And now we are learning that the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, has more than 500 active duty Marines on standby to come in here if necessary. So as the night is wearing on, tensions are not dissipating. Things are only going to get worse, I fear. I'm Rob Scott in downtown Los Angeles. Back to you.
It's an incredible scene there. Just as authorities try to keep violence from escalating, the city officials are trying to keep people calm as National Guard troops move in. California lawmakers also accusing the Trump administration of trying to make things worse. NBC's Chris Pallone has more.
Get back! Get back! As violent unrest in downtown Los Angeles spills into a fourth day, President Trump is defending his decision to deploy National Guard troops there against the wishes of California's governor.
We're going to have troops everywhere. We're not going to let this happen to our country. We're not going to let our country be torn apart.
The protests began in response to ongoing immigration raids. Federal agents arresting about 150 migrants around L.A. Protests, which started peacefully, turned violent, with demonstrators burning cars and throwing bottles and chunks of concrete at police.
These kids on the car, the folks that are taking advantage of this, these aren't peaceful protesters, a lot of these folks.
California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom blaming President Trump for inflaming a tense situation. It's the first time a president has activated a state's National Guard force without a request from the state's governor since the civil rights era.
Donald Trump has created the conditions you see on your TV tonight. He's exacerbated the conditions.
In D.C., lawmakers divided.
My concern, of course, is that this inflames the situation and that he is hell-bent on inflaming the situations.
One of our core principles is maintaining peace through strength. We do that on foreign affairs and domestic affairs as well. I don't think that's heavy-handed.
Meanwhile, the administration is threatening to arrest any state and local officials who interfere with immigration enforcement.
Stand in the way of law and order, they will face charges.
A political standoff still simmering as the situation on the ground boils over. The president activated a total of 2,000 National Guard troops in California. About 300 are on the streets of Los Angeles right now. And Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said active duty Marines are ready to deploy to California if the White House deems it necessary. In Washington, Chris Pallone, NBC News.